Good evening, everyone. It is great to see you. Thank you for joining us for our June Town Council meeting. We appreciate you being here. We are going to go ahead and get started. We are going to start out with our invocation by Councilor Swan.
Thank you. Dear Lord, thank you for all this community that's come out tonight and all the diverse group of people, volunteers, staff, participants, and residents that come together to make Knightdale such a special place. We ask that you be with the most vulnerable as they face economic and political uncertainty and the weather with this heat wave. Grant us the vision, wisdom, and focus to make the best decisions we can to make life better for everyone in Knightdale. Amen.
Amen. Next is our Pledge of Allegiance, and tonight we are pleased to be joined by members of the Parks and Recreation Coach Pitch All-Star Baseball Showcase teams. These teams consist of exceptional players selected from across 8 different Parks and Recreation teams who participated in the 2025 spring season. These 24 players were selected by league coaches to form 2 teams who competed against one another in the Knightdale Parks and Recreation Showcase All-Star Game on June 12, 2025. It's a great moment to have our youth here and to be able to celebrate them, to let them know we appreciate them, and we're so proud of everything that they are doing. So thank you again for coming. Thank you for leading us in our Pledge of Allegiance. And next we have the adoption of the agenda. Any changes to tonight's agenda, questions, comments, or motion to adopt the agenda as is?
Motion to adopt.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Majority approves. Motion carries. We will go with the agenda as is, starting with our presentations, recognitions, and awards. Introduction and oath of police officer, Chief Capps.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I know we've got a lot of these to get to this evening, so I'm going to do my very best to be brief, but also make sure that I give due attention to this auspicious occasion. This evening, it is my extraordinary pleasure to introduce the newest member of the Knightdale Police Department, Miss Teddy Kreger. As she is making her way to the podium with her friend Liz, I just wanted to say a few words. She is no stranger to service. She has spent a number of years in the United States Army as a military police officer, holding the rank of sergeant. She also has municipal law enforcement experience, having previously served in Virginia. And this evening, we're excited to swear her in officially to join our ranks. And I believe, Mayor, you're going to be helping us out with this.
That I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as police officer. So help me.
tight with me for just a moment. This is a very important charge that we make in the presence of these community members, in the presence of your colleagues, in the presence of these elected officials, that you always be allegiant to the 5 rules. Our mission is about other people. That is where our loyalty lies. Always be mission-minded. Rule number 2, never betray our core values. Our core values are at the center of who we are. They identify the things that are most important to us. So always make sure that your behavior, your engagement with other people is a reflection of those things. Rule number 3, and this is hard, tell 100% of the truth 100% of the time. It's not easy. It's not always popular, and the truth even has consequences, but it's always the right thing. Rule number 4, remember this oath, the things that you promised that you would do. By making this public promise, you are pledging your allegiance not to me, not to an individual, but to values, to ideals, to principles that hold our constitutional republic together. And then rule number 5, just give everything your best effort. And I guarantee you that if you'll do these 5 things, everything else has a way of taking care of itself. The job can be thankless sometimes. It's not always easy, but it's always right. We're proud of you, Teddy. Welcome aboard. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief. We also have another introduction of maintenance worker and stormwater interns, Mr. Bunton.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I found my jacket tonight. I'm really privileged to be up here today to introduce some new employees that we have. Some are with us for a short period of time. Others are going to be with us for a long time. And so, Chris, if you'll come up. I'll introduce first our new maintenance worker. This is Chris Webb. Chris and his wife, 2 kids, moved down from New Jersey. He worked at a small township up there in the Public Works Department. He's got a lot of experience, and he's already hit the ground running really well. So we are very excited to have him on board. He's part of our grounds team working for Jason Eubanks. And so, again, this is Chris. Chris, Mayor and Council. So,
Welcome.
don't go anywhere. One of the things that I look forward to each summer is our intern program. And, you know, this is our 3rd year doing it. And each year, we all learn something from them, and hopefully we give them an opportunity to learn something about what we do. But what's important to me is that not only do we give them a little bit of practical knowledge in the stormwater field, we also introduce them to what it's like to work for local government. And I think that that is something that, you know, is a good thing, because people should know what it's like to work in this field. It's a good field. You have the opportunity to serve people, and I think that's great. So, introduce my interns here this summer. I've got Athena Tomlinson. She's from Pennsylvania. She's a senior at NC State. She's majoring in the Environmental Sciences program. And then I have Caleb Ford. Caleb is from Mooresville, North Carolina, also a senior at NC State. He's majoring in biological engineering. So, yeah. Again, they've done a lot of work for us already this summer. I'm very excited to see what the rest of the summer will bring. So again, interns, council, mayor, council, interns.
Welcome as well. Thank you, Mr. Bunton. Next is introduction of transportation planner, Ms. Goodman.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Tonight I'm very pleased to introduce you to Tucker Foley. He has joined the Development Services Department as our Senior Planner of Transportation. He has previous years of experience on the private sector, and he is an NC State graduate and holds a professional engineer license. So we're super excited to have him join our team.
Welcome as well. Welcome as well. Thank you, Ms. Goodman. Next is introduction of business support specialist, Ms. Morris.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm excited to introduce this evening Joshua Paget. I think you guys may know him, have some idea of who he is. Josh has been with us for over a year and a half. He came in as a community relations intern, and now he is our business support specialist. He is a graduate of App State. He has found his way not only kind of navigating the landscape of Knightdale, but also working with every department and sharing his knowledge and experience and his big heart with the community. So we're excited to have him as part of our team.
Welcome as well. And if we could have all of the new employees come up. Welcome again. We are so glad to have you. Thank you for choosing Knightdale. Here at Knightdale, with our strategic plan, one of the key pillars is operational excellence. And within operational excellence, it starts with our people. And so we're always great for these opportunities to add new great staff that are going to be able to help and support come into that culture and to support the town of Knightdale. So we appreciate it, and we look forward to all the great things that you will do. Next is the recognition of advisory board member, Mr. Summers.
Thank you, Mayor Day, Council. It's one of those times we get to thank our advisory board members for their support and their generosity and their volunteerism for our community. Sandra volunteered on our Veterans Memorial Advisory Board for 21 through 24, and she is no longer serving in that role. So we're going to take a minute to thank her, tell her that we love her, tell her that we're grateful for her service. As most of you know, Sandra has served our community faithfully. We're so fortunate to welcome so many new faces to our community. Sometimes it's great to just see a face that has raised a family and lived here forever. Sandra has been a staunch supporter of our organization, our community, a long-time participant on the Two Green Thumbs Garden Club, as well as supporting the town of Knightdale at every endeavor. We have a simple gesture of gratitude for you to let you know that your service is appreciated and not lost on us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sandra, I forgot we have to do a picture.
No, I'm just kidding.
Once again, thank you so much for giving of your time. We appreciate it. We appreciate everything that you have sacrificed to give to the town of Knightdale, and we hope that you feel that appreciation as you leave. Next is our proclamations. First proclamation recognizing Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a holiday celebrating the emancipation of those who had been enslaved in the United States. On June 19, 1865, General Gordon Granger announced that slaves in Texas were free by order of the President of the United States. Juneteenth celebrates African American freedom and achievement, a day of liberation, resilience, and fortitude. It is a time for reflection, rejoicing, assessment, and self-improvement. So therefore, I, Jessica Day, Mayor of the town of Knightdale, do hereby proclaim June 19th, 2025 as Juneteenth and declare that it shall be formally recognized as a holiday in the town of Knightdale. Furthermore, I call upon all residents to become aware of the significance of this celebration in African American history and in the heritage of our nation and our town. Next is our proclamation recognizing Pride Month. The Knightdale Strategic Plan identifies the following 5 focus areas: safe, connected, and inclusive, sustainable, active and healthy, and organizational excellence. To achieve a connected and inclusive community, Knightdale actively pursues the creation of a welcoming environment for all and supports the rights of every citizen to experience equality and freedom from discrimination. The town of Knightdale accepts and welcomes people of diverse backgrounds and believes a diverse population leads to a more vibrant community. Knightdale residents should be able to live without fear of prejudice or discrimination and should seek opportunities that champion the civil rights of all people. So therefore, I, Jessica Day, Mayor of the town of Knightdale, do recognize June 2025 as Pride Month and encourage all residents to respect and honor our diverse community and to participate in relevant activities that build dialogue, strengthen alliance, and advance the equal rights of all individuals. And next is our public comment period. This is a period for anyone here tonight who wishes to speak on an item that is not currently on the agenda. If there is, you may come forward at this time. All right, if not, at this time, I'll turn it over to our town clerk, Ms. Smith, to share written comments we have received.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. We received 2 written submissions for tonight's public comment period. Since you have all received the comments via email, I'll just briefly summarize. Kendra Browning, 216 Main Street, expressed concerns about the increase in speeding on Main Street and proposed a 4-way stop at the intersection of Main Street and 4th Avenue to make it safer for those walking around Harper Park. We also received a comment from Kevin Carlson, 212 Main Street, who expressed concerns regarding speeding and the failure of drivers to stop at the stop sign on Main Street, noting its proximity to the park. Mr. Carlson requested a speed bump or an additional stop sign at the intersection of 4th Avenue and Main Street. I'd just like to note that the full comments will be included in the official record of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Next is reports on citizens' inquiries. Are there any reports on citizen inquiries? All right. If not, I'll move to a consent agenda. Any questions, comments on the consent agenda or motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Majority approves. Motion carries. Next, we will move to our public hearings. Our first public hearing, AN-2-25, Robertson Crossing Annexation. Mr. Lewis.
Good evening, and thank you, Mayor and Council. Great to see everyone tonight. The first case that I have to present to you all tonight is AN 2-25, which is the Robertson Crossing Annexation Public Hearing. This is a voluntary petition. Would be contiguous to the existing jurisdiction of Knightdale. The proposed annexation is just over 190 acres east of Knightdale Station Park and south of the Knightdale Station neighborhood. It is currently agricultural or vacant land, and the proposed use was recently approved in April of 2025 for a 668 lot residential development with 12 acres of commercial and mixed-use parcels throughout. Here's a look at that master plan. Again, this was just updated in the last few months to add about 2 acres to the site, but overall the original site plan remains the same, and the annexation plat of the 190 acres. So as I mentioned, it's a voluntary contiguous annexation petition. The town clerk has certified the petition, and last month the public hearing was set for this evening. All statutory requirements for the public hearing have been met as well. We included a full breakdown of the cost-benefit analysis in our staff report, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any about those numbers in the staff report. But here is a look at just a high-level projection on that. One thing I'll note here is that these numbers do not include any tax revenue that would be generated from the non-residential parcels throughout. So this is just looking at the residential parcels in particular. So this would add, the development of those would add to the revenues as well. Some other considerations that aren't as easily quantifiable in the plan or in the annexation, but we feel it is important to point out that this annexation would make improvements to Marshall Drive, upgrading that from a paved road to a local street with curb, gutter, and sidewalk, and extending utilities down Marshall Drive. There is about 1 mile of public and private walking trails throughout, including pedestrian connectivity to Knightdale Station Park and a pedestrian crossing over the railroad tracks that separates the two sides of the site. So again, those aren't really quantifiable, but we see them as benefits for this proposal. So happy to answer any questions about the annexation if there are any. After receiving public comment, our recommendation would be to close the public hearing and adopt Ordinance 25-618-007 to annex the area.
All right, thank you. I'll bring it up to council. Any questions, comments? Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing item. Is there anyone here tonight that wishes to speak on this item? If so, you may come forward this time.
Mayor and council members, my name is Beth Trejos. I'm an attorney with Fox Rothschild, and I'm here today on behalf of Robertson Crossing and the Telly communities. I have with me Brian Massengill, also with the Telly communities, just to ask for your support of the annexation petition. We've been working very closely with your staff to compile a complete petition, and as we promised as a part of our zoning, that we will be building a community that we hope you will consider to be a positive part of the town of Knightdale, which includes our commitment to work with the railroad to create an opportunity for a railroad crossing for pedestrian access. We're hopeful that they will be cooperative as we move forward, but we would ask for your support of our annexation petition.
And I just wanted to confirm for the record, did you state your address?
Oh, I didn't.
That's fine.
I'm sorry. It's 301 Hillsborough Street in Raleigh.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else that wishes to speak on this item, you may come forward. Just as a reminder, please state your name and address. Be sure to have signed the speaker sheet, and comments are limited to 3 minutes. We do have a timer here.
My name is Santa Claus. I'm from the, My name is Roger Howard. My address is 718 Sunline Drive. I wanted to begin by thanking you for letting me come back. I've spoken to this group a couple of times in the past. I wanted to mention two things. Kevin Lewis is a guy who sent this letter out a couple weeks ago that got me here to the meeting. And I've got great respect for him because he does things the way he says he's going to do. The second thing is that I know another planner in my neighborhood, and I like him too. He's got a big dog. So in any event, what brought me out tonight is the map that Kevin included on the back of this letter. For the very first time, has highlighted in yellow my neighborhood, Union Station in Knightdale Station. And I went back and I looked at an original sketch plan and all those other maps, and on not a single one of them is Union Station highlighted. And I wonder why you did that, Kevin, because typically planners they do stuff for a good reason.
And we can get the questions answered. If you have specific questions, we can connect you with staff to get those answers.
Okay.
We could take that comment now, and then we could follow up with the questions. So we'll follow up later with the answers. Mm-hmm. Is there anyone else here tonight that wishes to speak on this item? If not, thank you for your comments. At this time, I'll turn it over to our town clerk, Ms. Smith, to share written comments that we have received.
Thank you, Mayor Day. We did receive one written comment for this public hearing item. Again, since you've all received the comment via email, I'll just briefly summarize. Shannon Hardy, 606 Heartland Flyer Drive, expressed opposition to AN 2-25, citing concerns about Heartland Flyer's role as an egress for Robertson Crossing. She also noted some traffic issues with Thales Academy, Knightdale Station and the lofts, and the narrowness of current properties on Heartland. So as mentioned earlier this evening, the full comment will be included in the official record of the meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Bringing it back to council. Any last questions or comments?
One quick, and maybe it'll come up in the next item on the agenda. If there will be an opportunity to think about construction traffic and construction traffic phasing, I think it may be more dealt with in the development agreement. That's the next item, perhaps. That would be my only comment or question.
Did the highlighting have any hidden meaning? Was there any new impact to the neighborhood as mentioned?
No. The parcels that are outlined in yellow are the subject parcels for the annexation. The parcels that are shaded in yellow, or the darker yellow color, are parcels that are already in town limits. So because they are already in town limits, they are shaded that yellow. Following the annexation, if it is approved and everything is updated in Wake County IMAPs, those parcels will also be shaded in yellow.
Any others?
And I guess you got the written comment as well.
Yes.
I did not understand what it meant, so can you just clarify?
Sure. So there are no changes proposed to Heartland Flyer Drive. That would be a point of connection. As we went through the rezoning, we talked about that a lot because it is a stub street that fronts on this property. So they are connecting to that, but within the Knightdale Station neighborhood, Heartland Flyer Drive will remain untouched. I also mentioned Marshall Drive is going to be improved. You can see that kind of outlined on the right-hand side of that page. So in addition to Heartland Flyer Drive, Marshall Drive would act as a point of ingress and egress into the northern side of this neighborhood. And I was planning to also talk about phasing and other elements in the development agreement public hearing next. So I'll get to that.
Thank you.
All right. If no more other questions, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance 2506-18007, effectively annexing the area.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Majority approves. Motion carries. We'll move to our second public hearing item, ZMA-16-22, Robertson Crossing Development Agreement. Mr. Lewis.
Great, thank you again. Again, this is the public hearing for the development agreement, so the contract between the town and the developer. And these typically happen concurrently with the annexation. So again, this is 190 acres off of Robertson Street between the Knightdale Station neighborhood, south of Robertson Street. It was recently rezoned to general residential 3 and neighborhood mixed use. Beth with Fox Rothschild and Italic Communities are here as well for the development agreement. So again, this is a look at the current zoning that was approved for the overall development. Again, nothing's changed there. To the north is the Knightdale Station neighborhood, Knightdale Station Park. Points south include the Harper Preserve development and some vacant or agricultural uses there as well. So again, look at the master plan. Again, nothing's changed since the master plan was updated in the last couple of months. That was approved in April. Construction drawings have been submitted for phase 1, which again I'll go over in just a moment, and are nearing approval. Following that, a CIP or construction improvement permit will be issued by the town to allow for construction to begin. And then when it comes time, building permits will be pulled as well. So the agreement includes a number of different specifications within it, including allocating water and sewer utilities to the development, the phasing and term of the overall construction of the site, the zoning conditions, and some of the transportation improvements. So this is compliant with the water allocation policy. Again, this hasn't changed. All of these requirements are being met with the latest development. This is proposed to be developed in 6 phases. So the first 3 phases, 1A, 1B, and 1C, are south of Robertson Street and south of the railroad. Those phases would be developed first, and then the second 3 phases, phases 2A, B, and C, are north of the railroad and adjacent to Knightdale Station. At that time, that's when Marshall Drive would be improved as well, and those improvements would be required before issuance of any building permits. They would be required to make those improvements there. The term of the agreement would extend the vested rights period from 2 years to 7 years to 2032 to allow for full build out of the site. All of the zoning conditions that were previously approved would be carried forward, including the site development allowances, the architectural standards, the design, the actual master plan of the site, the commercial use standards, and the transportation improvements. One thing I'll note when it comes to transportation improvements is that I mentioned Marshall Drive. There are also other off-site transportation improvements that are required, including making safety improvements to First Avenue and Fayetteville Street, Robertson Street. And that would be required before, again, the final plat is approved, unless any deviations are approved by NCDOT. We're having those discussions. They are ongoing. So as those progress and before any final decisions are made, we'll be sure to inform you all of that. As far as construction traffic goes, again, with Marshall Drive, with other points on Robertson Street, providing access to the northern side of the site, we'll certainly continue to work with the developer on that. But what I will say is that is a later phase of the development, so right now the timing of that is still undetermined. But as we get closer, we'll be able to share more details with you all. So again, happy to answer any questions about the development agreement, if there are any, but if not, our recommendation would be to close the public hearing, approve the development agreement, and adopt ordinance 25-6-18-008.
Thank you again. Any questions, comments?
Just a follow-up comment on construction traffic. I know the northern site, to have access off of Robertson, the southern site has direct access off of Robertson, but north, you'd have to cross the railroad track, I would really, really hope that at least a temporary crossing could be established, maybe with signals or something, but, love to see a permanent crossing. I think we all would. But I think just continue really pushing for that and making sure that we're doing all we can to limit the amount of traffic going through existing neighborhoods, especially construction traffic.
Certainly, yes. And as Beth mentioned, we're trying to build that relationship with the railroad company to allow for the pedestrian crossing and then also hopefully the construction traffic crossing.
Any other?
Oh, I'll make a motion.
No, you're fine. If there's no other questions or comments from council, I will open the floor. This is a public hearing item as well. If there's anyone here tonight that wishes to speak on this item, you may come forward at this time.
Mayor and town council members, Beth Trejo is just here to answer questions with Mr. Massagill. And ask for your support.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here that wishes to speak on this item? If so, you may come forward at this time.
Good evening. My name is Sharon Bullock. I live at 626 Heartland Flyer Drive. I'm a little perplexed, and my question is, and I may have to go backwards, you all can assist me if I missed something. I'd like to have a talk with our HOA attorneys because of some internal questions that we as my neighbors and I have about the Heartland Street possibly being widened, or as you say, there won't be any changes, you said, right, to the traffic pattern with machinery and cars and trucks coming through there, disrupting our lives. So I just want to know, before you close this public meeting, this hearing out, can we at least get a 7-day reprieve to have some dialogue with our attorneys?
And once again, so this is an opportunity for us to hear your public comments, but if you do have questions, we can get your contact information and we can get back to you with responses to your questions. So we have your contact information. You've signed the book with your contact information, and we can get you connected with one of our staff members and we can get some answers to you.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Cindy Prow. We live at 5104 Marshall Drive. So we're right at that corner that they're talking about for the improvements. So I guess our main concern is our water, our well. We have well water, and it's right around the corner, real close to the other road. So I'm just hoping someone will be in contact with us as things are moving along, so we'll know what we're facing as far as if well has to be redone, or if we'll be able to hook into city water at that point in time as they're making the improvements. So I think that's our biggest concern.
Thank you for sharing that as well. And at any time you have questions, our staff is very responsive. So if you send any questions in, they'll be able to help you. Mm-hmm. And we can make sure that we get some contact information so you know who to reach out to. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Anyone else here tonight that wishes to speak on this item? All right. If not, then I will bring it back to our council. Any questions or comments?
Okay, I guess at this time, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing, approve development agreement, and adopt ordinance 2506-18008.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Majority approves. Motion carries. We close that public hearing, and that's the last public hearing item this evening. Thank you for those that have come this evening. I did want to reiterate, typically during our public hearing items, these are opportunities for us to hear, but we do want to make sure that we answer your questions. So we want to get your information so that we can answer those later. Next is old business, ZTA-1-25 quarterly updates. Ms. Goodman.
Good evening again, mayors and members of council. Tonight I have the last step for you in our ZTA, our quarterly amendments. If you recall, last month we had our joint public hearing, and then the Land Use Review Board heard this case at their meeting last Monday. So this text amendment has two focus areas. One is increasing the number of persons permitted at an in-home daycare, and then the second one is to align cross-section descriptions across all town plans and policies. So as you can see on the slide, chapters 3, 5, 10, and 15 sections of those chapters will be revised under this text amendment. So as you recall, the joint public hearing was held on May 15th. We did hear from two in-home daycare operators. They spoke in favor of the text amendment. They also shared their personal experience with operating one of these facilities and shared information on their current wait list. We also, both boards, the Town Council and the Land Use Review Board, had quite a few comments and questions about child care homes and standards in other municipalities. So tonight I wanted to report back to you what I've learned since the joint public hearing and share with you how those proposed UDO changes have changed based on things that I've learned. So first up, I wanted to say that, or just remind you that the current UDO sets a maximum capacity of 5 children for in-home daycares. The town does issue a zoning compliance permit for in-home daycares, but the state is actually the licensing agency. And that is overseen by the Division of Child Development and Early Education within the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. And they have a current maximum of 10 children, but that can vary or be fewer depending on the actual age range of the children enrolled in those programs. So while licensing home daycares, they do consult the local municipality's ordinance and only issues a license for what the municipality allows. So since the joint public hearing, I've had several conversations and communications with a lead child care consultant who works for DHHS, and she was very helpful and was able to kind of explain the state's regulations. She also shared that many Wake County municipalities are actually following the up to 10 rule right now. The ones who aren't, several allow up to 8, and then Knightdale and Cary come in at the kind of bottom, with Cary allowing 6 and Knightdale currently allowing 5. She also clarified that square footage and teacher ratios actually don't apply to in-home daycares. They are only applicable to daycare centers more in like a commercial operation. So the elements of in-home daycares that the UDO currently regulates really are focused on zoning and compatible land uses. So things like hours of operation, overall maximum capacity, and location of the outdoor play area and fencing requirements. But as you can see on this slide, I'm not going to read all of them, the state of North Carolina, they regulate a lot. Everything related to licensing, operations, inspections, number of children allowed per age range, it all falls to the state. So we're just a small piece of the overall operation of in-home daycares. So based on the feedback that was provided at the joint public hearing and my discussions with the DHHS employee, we did make some text changes, or proposing text changes that would remove the reference to 5 or fewer for in-home daycares, and we would replace that with a requirement that daycares comply with all applicable state of North Carolina regulations, including maximum capacity restrictions. This would allow the number to fluctuate depending on state regulations and wouldn't require additional text amendments in the future if the state changes and we want to follow suit. We also added language that clarified that the principal daycare operator must be a full-time resident of the dwelling. It was alluded to in our ordinance, but we just kind of clarified that language, and that follows state requirements as well. And then also we added that one additional non-resident employee is permitted. Our current UDO is silent on that, and in my discussions with the DHHS consultant, she shared kind of different municipalities follow different ways, but if a ordinance is silent on it, then an extra employee is not allowed. So we added that one extra employee would be permitted, and that actually follows and is consistent with the UDO standards for home occupations. And then next up, the second item included in this text amendment is general infrastructure design guidelines. This all falls under Chapter 10 of the UDO. There's been various changes to transportation and infrastructure over the years. We just need to update the UDO Chapter 10 to make sure that all of the plans, the CTP, the standard specification manual, the UDO, everything matches. So the text changes include incorporating 2 new cross sections, which are the public utility alley and the local street with on-street parking, modifying the text descriptions to make sure it matches, and then updating figures and graphics really just a way to make sure everything's consistent across the board. So I also wanted to provide you with an update or a summary of the Land Use Review Board meeting that happened last Monday on June 9th. They did unanimously recommend approval. However, they did have a proposed condition attached to their recommendation to increase the non-resident employee allowance to 2 rather than 1 as presented by staff. So as you all are well aware, the North Carolina General Statute does require the governing board to adopt a statement of plan consistency and reasonableness of action. So tonight we have prepared this recommended advisory statement for you. It says the proposed text amendment is consistent with the Knightdale Next V.2 2035 comprehensive plan, which serves as the foundation for determining effective public policy that provides an ongoing framework for informed and directed public investment and private development. Further, it is reasonable and in the public interest as it aligns the town's Unified Development Ordinance with the North Carolina state regulations and clarifies community design standards, resulting in a more inclusive, safe, and livable town. So tonight, staff's recommendation would be, after reviewing the request, make a motion to approve ZTA 1-25, adopt the advisory statement, and also adopt Ordinance 2506-18009. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Goodman. Questions or comments?
Just a point of clarification. So the staff's presented text amendment tonight does not include the 2 employees. It's the 1 employee.
As written, it's
Yeah.
1. It can be amended depending on the approval.
Yeah, on that point, was that additional person the caregiver, not just, for example, a family member?
It would be an additional caregiver of someone who does not live in the residence.
And then they would have to meet, that caregiver would also have to meet requirements that the state sets out, age and qualifications and everything. Mm-hmm. I did wonder if, sometimes it depends, but sometimes with 10, maybe having that extra one, maybe that is a good point. I wonder if we could say up to, I guess we would say up to 2, and if most people maybe just want 1, they would have to obviously pay this person, so there's economic consideration, but I would probably be okay with up to 2.
I think I would probably come down on the side of 1, since that's consistent with what we already allow for home businesses of other types. That's what I heard in your presentation, is the UDO currently, an in-home business of any type, 1 additional non-resident employee is what we allow. Mm-hmm. And so I start to think about, you've already got additional impact on surrounding neighbors with traffic, particularly with this one. You've got drop-off pickup every day. And then you start to throw in, the additional parking for employees. And I think I would argue for keeping it consistent with what we've already got for other uses.
Yeah, we could always come back and revisit if it's just like we're doing now from what the ordinance was. So I would be okay with that.
Any more? Or our motion?
All right. I will make a motion to approve ZTA 125 quarterly updates, adopt the advisory statement, and adopt Ordinance 2506-18009.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Majority approves. Motion carries. Thank you again. And next we'll move to our advisory board reports. Any reports on any of our advisory board meetings? Or just?
So Veterans Memorial Advisory Board met. They are working on a presentation for banners for living veterans. That was an important goal for them, was to honor them. I just want to say, I appreciate Heather's work with them, and I appreciate that they worked to come to a consensus. They had some differences of opinion, and I was furiously taking notes so I'd be prepared to tell y'all what those differences were, and they came to a consensus, and it all worked out.
Thank you for that update. Any others?
Just quickly, last week we went to Chapel Hill for our Vision Zero annual conference, and we have two members of staff here tonight that joined us there, Mr. Button and our assistant town manager, Mr. Tripp. I really appreciate their time, as well as others that attended. It just shows our commitment to safety and making sure that we make traffic improvement safeties along our roadway safety improvements for all users. So really appreciate their commitment and the town's commitment to Vision Zero.
Thank you for that as well.
Not an update, but just want to thank Parks and Rec, as well as the Community Relations Department and all the other staff members, especially KFD and KPD, who definitely did an amazing job at the African American Festival this past Saturday. It was wonderful. A lot of compliments to the town and the staff on how well of a job they did and how much everyone enjoyed the festival, the African American Festival. So definitely want to say thanks to everyone who participated in that, helped and pulled that together. So thank you.
Thank you for that. I agree as well. Any others? All right. If not, then that comes to the end of the meeting tonight. So may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Majority approves. Motion carries. We stand adjourned. Thank you for joining us for our June Town Council meeting. Have a good evening.